So this time, the devotees from the back, your good name? Priyanka and Sandeep. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, if the devotees can start reading, maybe we can start from the back today. You can go like that. You can do the first paragraph, including till the words, and then you can give it to Mataji and she can do the next paragraph. The preface. There is a preface before that, right? The preface.
The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnav or Bengali Vaishnav are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of the Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottama Das Thakur has sung Rupa Raghunatha Pade Ha Ibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bujhava Se Yugala Pririti.
When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the signs of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radha Rani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, Shri Rupa, Santana Bhatta Raghunatha, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta and Dasa Raghunatha.
So the Krishna consciousness movement is conducted on the guidance of why Srila Rupa Goswami? I want to hear.
Because he understood Lord Chaitanya's mood.
He understood Lord Chaitanya's mood. Thank you. So we listen to the verse Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. So Mano Abhishtam means the innermost desire of the heart. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood it. And so that is why it is mentioned. The other thing is, why not Sanatan Goswami? Because Srila Rupa Goswami considered Sanatan Goswami as his spiritual master and elder brother. So the reason for that is because when we understand Rupa, then we'll be able to go understand the writings of Sanatan Goswami in the disciplic succession. So, and he, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said that I have given my full mercy to Srila Rupa Goswami so that he can understand. So it's a very, very explicit and in line with etiquette that we follow like that, and that's why we are called Rupanugas and not Sanatanugas. Okay. And then, what are the highest activities of Krishna? What are the highest, according to the whatever we read so far? Transcendental pastimes with the gopis. Why are they highest? So, pardon? Based on love, but he did show love to other people too. Amati?
Selfless love of gopis?
Selfless love of gopis. Yes, that is one reason. And the other reason is because Krishna was completely under the influence of, or subjugated by the love of gopis to a very highest degree, and therefore they constitute. But in any case, in this class, it may be sufficient to take that statement at face value and accept it. And as we get into the intricacies of more and more, then we can understand why they constitute the highest activities. Yeah. And you had a question, Yash Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, sorry for interrupting in the bit.
No problem.
Actually, this is something I was thinking for a long time, and we just read about it, that out of 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami was the leader, and then we follow his lineage. But other Goswamis also, they had their own matha system in Vrindavan. If you go today, different monasteries are there, right? One of the prominent ones, for example, is Radharaman group, I think it's Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And so what should be our level of interaction and relation with the other sister organizations, even though all of us are following the same message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not in Rupa Goswami's lineage?
In that sense that we don't even are in Vrindavan, the ISKCON members don't identify themselves as Radha Damodar party or Radha Govinda party, right? The temple which the Rupa Goswami built in Vrindavan is Radha Govinda ji, yes, but it's not our temple. Similarly with Radha Madan Mohan temple, there are 6 temples in Vrindavan built by the Goswamis, but we never claim to be ours. So we follow all the Goswamis, but nevertheless, our writings, especially Rupa Goswami's writings on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, they form the foundation for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. They are like the basis of pure devotional service. So we don't claim any, including Rupa Goswami, as mine, and I belong to only Rupa Goswami. Our understanding is that we read the writings of Jiva Goswami, and we have been quoted like that. So does that answer? No, you raised your mic, so you had a question.
Yes, to continue further on that. So we don't deny, and we don't have to stay away from them, you're right.
Yeah.
But compared to what our philosophy is totally different from those of Mayavadis and personalists and everyone else, right? So according to that comparison, is it still okay and to interact with the devotees in the other groups and have them involved in our occasions as well as involved in their occasions and events? Because they may have certain different way of celebrating the occasions and events, right? For example, last month I was in Radharaman temple, and one of my family, basically my in-laws, they follow my wife, she follows the Radharaman group. And we were basically hosted by that, the head of that, Punri Goswamiji in that temple, that family. So we have a very loving relationship with that family, but still, that said, we don't find ourselves in that same frame of lineage. So that was my confusion.
Well, we respect, forget the devotees in Vrindavan, even the monkeys, the dogs, and everybody who takes birth in Vrindavan, they have something to do with Krishna, and we respect everyone on that level. While we can associate with other groups, but there could be certain differences in how we worship, and it is better to stick to one path to do it. We acknowledge the differences, but they have their style and we have our style, and we will follow. A simple example is this. In Vrindavan, the Vrajavasis have loving relationship with Krishna. Sometimes they just eat. They just take the thing and they put it in front of them, eat. They say that to the Lord. Maybe the Lord likes it. Maybe he doesn't. We don't know. Because Mother Yashoda really didn't do Aarti first and then offer Bhoga and then chanted mantra. Yes or yes? You are hungry, just she used to feed. Krishna would actually accept it. In some cases, as the Damodar pastimes tells, he wouldn't even wait for it. You are doing this churning and offering, wow, that will take a long time. I can't wait. I'm going to do it right now. I want butter right now. So he breaks the pot. So in Vrindavan, all the bets are off as far as etiquette goes with Krishna, because we don't know what is the relationship with Krishna. So we respect, but at the same time it is important that we identify our own level of advancement, our own adhikar on how we can or we cannot tell Krishna. For example, in Vrindavan, the cowherd boys would play with Krishna and Krishna would be defeated. They would climb on his back. Imagine you get second initiated. The first thing you go is on the altar and climb on Krishna's back. It's offensive, because we are not there on that level yet. So one of the focal things, and we read in the Nectar of Instruction as we go on to the third and fourth, is what is our level and how to advance based on our existing level. We neither imitate the advanced level, nor we try to stay stuck on the same level thinking that I can never make progress. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
I'm audible? So in this there is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. So how can one understand this statement? Like my question is, so is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered as incarnation of Srimati Radharani? And if not, just Sri Chaitanya Prabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So what is that mood? I am really...
While you're... It's back? Haribol! Welcome all the devotees. All right. So, Sutra Malika Prabhu, is there any etiquette we need to follow? Now it's back. In terms like, is there anything we need to do? Oh, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Your question is an outstanding one, but it will take a long time to cover. Because in that you have about 5 tattvas or truths to cover. Oh, so the thing is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Radharani. But is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu an incarnation of Radharani? Or what is the mood here? It's a huge topic, but I'll give the answer in a nutshell. Probably we can discuss it some other time. When Krishna came to this world, he enjoyed unlimitedly because he is the Supreme Lord. But there were 3 things that he couldn't enjoy. 3 things he couldn't figure out, and 3 things that he wanted to taste. The first thing he wanted to find out is, what is Radharani's love to me? The second thing he wanted to know is, what happiness does she derive in serving me? The third thing he wanted to find out was, what's it about me that attracts Radharani? To that extent, he couldn't taste it. So when he came back as Mahaprabhu, his primary goal was to taste Radharani's love for Krishna. What is it about that love that is so captivating? And Krishna wanted to taste that love. So he came in the mood of Radharani to taste that love. Krishna and Radharani combined together is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu covered, or Krishna covered, what is the complexion of Krishna? White? Blackish rain cloud. And he covered his own complexion with the complexion of Radharani and the same mood. In fact, our acharyas say that he did not have that love he has of Radharani. Radharani has towards him. only Radharani has that highest love for Krishna. So he had to actually borrow that love from Radharani to experience that. So if you actually want to drive a car, you should actually have that car to experience, yes or yes. It's a crude example, very crude example, but just to give you, so that Mahabhav or love for Krishna, which is there in heart of Radharani, is not to be had anywhere. Even Krishna does not have it. So Krishna borrowed that love and he assumed the complexion and sentiment of Radharani to taste that love. So while external mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to spread the Yuga Dharma, spread the Harinam, so many other things, but internally his mood was to taste the love of. That's the reason. Does that a little bit explain? Now we can get into a whole detail of what is Radha Tattva, what is Krishna Tattva, what is Gaura Tattva, and that can take a long time to cover. But that is a nutshell. Okay? Okay. Other questions, comments? Okay, please read the next paragraph and then give the mic to the devotees.
Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us the Upadesh mantra, the nectar of instructions to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Sikshasta, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadesh mantra so that we may become pure Vaishnavas.
Thank you. Next paragraph.
In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, Sattva Guna, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami, and then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed.
Thank you. Next paragraph.
Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavana, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books such as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava, but the Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for new-type devotee. One should follow these instructions very strictly. Then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Thank you. September 20th, 1975, Vishwarup Mahotsav, Krishna Balram Mandir, Ramanreti, Vrindavan, India. So, one of the most important things here mentioned is advancement in Krishna consciousness depends upon the altitude of the follower, attitude of the follower. No, I heard it attitude. I wanted to make a joke. Some people think we have the altitude, we are good. But here it's the attitude that's important. Please understand that on this path there will be difficulties. It's not that I have taken to Krishna consciousness, which means my mother-in-law will treat nicely. My boss will give me raises every week. And then, I'll never fall sick. Mosquitoes will come near me, but they dare not even bite me. When I board a public transportation, everybody will get off and I'll be the only person in the carriage. These are all the expectations that because we are a devotee, then that is not the point. Because as we go or advance in Krishna consciousness, difficulties are bound to come. Our past karma, the very nature that we are in this material world, it's a source of difficulty. It is mentioned that the body or the material body does not get diseases. The material body is a disease. Because as long as we have the mentality of, it said, they will also come across that verse, parabhavastava. So it is said, as long as my mind is covered with this fruitive mentality, till that time I'm going to take birth in this material world. So the very fact that we have a material body, of course, exalted souls like Prabhupada and other acharyas, when they come, their material body might not be based conditioned. But nevertheless, they taught us by their own practical example that difficulties are to be expected. But when it comes, what is our attitude? How are we positioning ourselves regarding our mental outlook to that event? Are we saying that we are being the victim and we are blaming Krishna or someone else for it? Or are we saying, Krishna, thank you? It'll take, I'm not saying it's easy. I have seen the first thing when the trouble comes is you need to find a cause of who caused the trouble. You can be taking the glasses in your pocket and searching for the whole house and blaming everybody in the house. Because the first thing is you won't check your own pocket. It's missing means somebody is to be blamed. It feels good. I blamed someone, it feels good. I am not responsible. Somehow there is this human nature that I can't own responsibility. Even in this lifetime. Forget the millions of lifetimes I had in the past. So, but Krishna has seen it. Krishna is the judge. And like it or not, he will give. Good or bad. So we have not seen, but Krishna has perfectly seen. So, yes. So our attitude is, yes, thank you, Krishna, that you gave this to me, because maybe this is what I deserved. I don't know, but maybe I deserve. Having said that, you cannot be exploited in an artificial way and think it is humility. It's Krishna's mercy. As in, like, somebody is coming to rob you. Oh, Krishna, maybe you send this robber to rob me. Give it away. You have to take necessary steps. Or, if you fall sick and Krishna, thank you, you gave me, that's all I have, what else can I do? I won't go to doctor. That is not on a very practical either. You are getting right, we have our own initiative. Attitude means that I am aware of that initiative and accept the responsibility to the point I can, and not either completely beat up myself nor completely be aloof. Both the things are bad. Because if you try to beat up for every mistake, you are not in control. When we read Bhagavad Gita, we will come to these finer points. What is action? What is inaction? What is karma? What is destiny? Am I responsible? Is God responsible? Where does the responsibility lie? So on and so forth. But our attitude, overall attitude is that if things go beyond our control, we try our best, and if it doesn't happen, then it's Krishna's mercy, there is nothing I can do about it. I make peace with the fact and move on with life. Does that a little bit answer your question? Yeah. So this is a key advancement in Krishna consciousness, depends on the attitude of the follower. Yes, Amitji. Yes.
Prabhu, thanks a lot, Prabhu. Quick question. So, if you were to look at surrender and controlling of the senses, do you see them as synonyms, or do you see them one as a means to achieve the goal?
When you see surrender, the second thing, what did you say, Prabhu?
Controlling the senses.
Controlling, excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
So surrender is a means to control the senses, or do you see them as synonyms?
Excellent. Because the statement of Prabhupada can be daunting. One must first control the mind and senses, and then one can get advanced. Our understanding for that statement is, yes, we need to control our mind and senses to the extent that the regulative principles are honored within Krishna consciousness. As much as you can. Because, the habits can be so strong. And even after one takes initiation, the habits can still linger on for a while. So sense control and surrender go on a parallel tracks like train. One cannot live without another. If you control senses for the sake of controlling senses, then it becomes a little artificial. To the point that I eat once a day. I'll give you an example. I eat once a day. Very there is no much of surrender to Krishna, but there is a lot of sense control. If it is not directed towards Krishna, when the situation is bad, you will still be, this is my thing, this is who I am, one-time eater. And I can't give that up. In spite of health or other adverse effects because of your restriction. But at the same time, I surrender to Krishna, but I do everything else. Then where is actually your surrender coming from? It has to be on two parallel paths. So if you fall off on one, then the other will help, and if you fall off on this one, then Krishna's surrender will come. So even if you sometimes fail to control your senses, then that surrender attitude will pull you along, and then surrender, Krishna, it's like you are getting boring now, I just want to surrender. But at least that sense control is there, it can a little bit help. So it's a combined parallel track. But the idea is that surrender will be a little more higher, because when you surrender to Krishna, even if you persistently fail to control your senses, eventually Krishna will pull you. But if you don't surrender to Krishna, then the sense control can take you only so far before again you fall back. Because Krishna doesn't really say two things in Sarva Dharman Paritejya verse. He doesn't say control your senses and surrender unto me. Just surrender unto me. Give up all your things, surrender unto me. Because if you are in a particular varna or ashram, then you have doing so many rules and regulations, and that can define who you are versus surrender to Krishna. Does that little bit, am I making sense or uttering total nonsense?
It does, Prabhu. I think what you're saying, if I paraphrase, my understanding of it is one can be drive, or one can push you in a more individualistic kind of a mindset,
right,
based on what you're doing, the austerities you're doing, versus one is pure surrender where you lose your individuality and kind of surrender to Krishna.
You don't lose, but you get the help of Krishna who can help you, control your mind and senses.
Okay.
Because the first verse, when we discuss of controlling the mind, we say that it's very difficult to control the mind, but if you always remember the lotus feet of Krishna, your control becomes much easier.
Makes sense.
The practical example I have seen, many devotees who came to Krishna consciousness, initially they were very attached to film songs. But when they came and attended kirtans and doing other things, their tastes naturally slackened. It was not that they had to put in a lot of effort not to listen. But eventually, once in a while, you feel like listening, that's fine. But your taste is not in there, your heart is not in there. You listen for the sake of listening, maybe. Maybe you are in an Indian store shopping. It's going on in the background. You hum, and then you come out. It's not like you stay in the Indian store forever just to listen to the song or listen to that song continuously. It's an occasional fall down, so-called. Just an example I'm saying.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. But the surrender is just going to pull you back. Because Krishna says, once you surrender unto me, Lord Ram, what does he say? Anybody who utters my name once, I consider him to be mine, and I'll protect him in all ways. We do little more than once uttering the name of Ram. So Krishna is definitely going to not forget that. That will be our greatest hope. Our sense control, In the Kali Yuga, it's a little diladala. I should say that.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think the reason I asked this question is if you look at that, the line, specific line that you were mentioning. Sorry, I lost control of the...
No problems.
Yes, that the attitude of the follower. And then Prabhupada really switches to the line where you need to be a sort of like a perfect Goswami. So
Right.
you start from an attitude and then suddenly you put a very tough goal. And that I'm trying to fill the gap between those two. And that's where the source of the question is.
That's one path which Srila Prabhupada says. If you see that you should become a Goswami and then you can become a pure devotee of the Lord. But does that mean that so we should all like quit our jobs and families and take sannyas first? Or does it mean that we try to control our senses to the extent of following whatever rules we need to, so that will help you advance in Krishna consciousness? You had a point, Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu. Oh, thank you. That's nice. You have to use the mic.
Hare Krishna. Yes, I was just saying that in the next line itself, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that what he means in this context, what is Goswami?
Right.
He's making it clear actually in the next line itself that Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis.
Yeah. And the other thing is that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are two types of pure devotees. Those who have aspiring to be pure devotees and whose intention is to be pure devotees and who are already there on that platform. If you are already there on that platform, then automatically you are on the level of Goswami or more, beyond that. But for those sadhakas whose goal is to have pure devotional service to Krishna and who are not there, what would be their category? Srila Prabhupada says they are still pure devotees because the intention is fixed. So there is that intention and then the platform. There is a little difference there, and that is what is being kind of translated to here. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Swapnil Prabhu, and then Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for mentioning about the pure devotee categories. So, Prabhu, with regards to this, one question that comes up is we also see the categorization of Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. So, if a Kanishta Adhikari who may still be convinced about the goal, about becoming a pure devotee, can he still be called in the category of pure devotees who are intending to become pure? Or can someone who has understood that the goal is pure devotion, who is convinced he cannot be a Kanishta Adhikari, he has come to Madhyam platform? So how do these two categorizations work together?
Excellent question, and I will beg for your patience till we reach verse number 4. Is that okay? Because we get into more details. Can only an Uttama Adhikari become a spiritual master? Can Madhyama become? Can Kanishta become? What are the ramifications? So if you can hold that just till verse 5.
Sure.
Because that's where it's whole gradations are talked, and then we'll get into more details. The other highlighting or other interesting thing would be what is the faith level of a Kanishta versus Madhyama versus Uttama? And are Uttamas by default already pure devotee platform, or is there more gradations to that? So we can all have that discussion in that class if that is okay with you. Okay, thank you. Other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry for my another naive question. So in the first...
Just to stop you right there, both of the questions today you asked were super excellent. So, naive, okay, let's see.
So we understood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and then we move ahead with So one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of six Goswamis. So how to understand who are these six Goswamis? Like I never heard about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before coming to Krishna consciousness. So there was an answer right away in the first preface. And now how should, now that we are saying we have to follow the footsteps of six Goswamis, how can I understand who are they, and weren't there any other Goswamis at the time when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and all that? I am really have no idea about that thing. So.
Excellent question. I'll give a nutshell answer. Probably when we have time we'll discuss more at length. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had 6 disciples, or strictly speaking, all of them were not his disciples. Jiva Goswami was actually a disciple of Rupa Goswami. And so he had 5 main disciples and 1 grand disciples in that sense. But since they were all doing the same work of Mahaprabhu, and Jiva Goswami was he was in that contemporary of Rupa Goswami, in the same time, though except like for a few years. So he is categorized also as one of the Goswamis. So the 6 Goswamis were disciples of Mahaprabhu who performed the Herculean task of excavating different sites of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. They wrote extensive books solidifying the Krishna consciousness theology, or the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. They set exemplary standards for renunciation, and they showed the whole world what is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So in a nutshell, that summarizes the mission of the 6 Goswamis. And how to follow their footsteps, it's mentioned here as we read Nectar of Instructions. We'll get many more practical tips on how to follow the instructions of Rupa Goswami. It's pretty practical in the purports Srila Prabhupada gives. Is that okay? All right. Other questions, comments? So we might end up barely doing 1 verse, which is fine. So kindly repeat the first verse after me. I believe this is one for memorization. Sri Antariksha Prabhu had a question.
Sorry for pulling back again to the preface.
No. Yeah.
So, in the last, towards the end, Prabhupada writes, Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhav, Lalita Madhav, but the Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. So, should we? So we also read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, is it also recommended to read Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava? Like, is there anything in the or?
Excellent question. So, what is rasa? Mellow. Because Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu attended the Nectar of Devotion class. Thank you. What is the goal of we coming to Krishna consciousness? What are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to experience?
Love of Krishna.
And how do you know what is love of Krishna? Okay, I didn't mean to. You asked me a question, I didn't want to ask you another question. The idea that Rupa Goswami gave Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was he analyzed love of Godhead. He analyzed the various components. And then he gave the interactions based on that. That is the foundational work. And on top of it, he wrote dramas describing pastimes of Krishna and Radharani and so many other transcendental characters of Vrindavan. The idea of Rupa Goswami when he wrote this Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava is not to give some pleasure. His goal was not to give some pleasure to the devotees, but his goal was to stun the mind of devotees when they read that. It's like a shock. It's stunned to read that ecstatic pastimes of Krishna because the rasa was flowing, and that was his goal. So Rupa Goswami analyzed the drama which was written by various munis in India, and then he applied it to Krishna consciousness. And just imagine, by reading the drama, the single most thing that can absorb a human mind today is movies. Yes or yes? People get lost. They cry with the protagonist, they laugh with the protagonist, they feel mad at the villain, and they get frustrated. All sorts of emotions come about, yes or yes? So use that same emotions to apply to Krishna. Tell me how much more mind will be absorbed in Krishna. So that was the strategy of Rupa Goswami. So when he wrote these books, Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava, please by all means read those books. But the problem is, if you don't understand what is the rasa behind those books, you might see it as an ordinary drama. So my request is, please read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. At least you will know, when Radharani is crying, what is that bhav? Versus when she's shivering, what is that bhav? When she's anger, then what is that mood? So if you don't know the basis, then it may seem little mundane, the same drama. Oh, okay, Krishna talked, he spoke some words to Radharani, and Radharani was little showing some sign, and that's about it. But if you read more, then you will get really appreciate what rasa is and the basis. So you can definitely read, but my request is to read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu first, the whole book, not the Bhakti Shastri level, but the whole book, and then you can really relish. Does that answer your question? Okay. So I think today we'll not get much ahead, but let's at least start. Before we even start, there is one thing though. There are commentaries on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Srila Prabhupada gave his own tika, which is the Nectar of. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati gave his commentary, which is called Anuvritti. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur also wrote commentary on that. And then there was another tika by Radharaman Goswami in Vrindavan. So there are 4 commentaries on Nectar of Instruction. And the second and the third texts of Nectar of Instruction talk of 6 items which are favorable and 6 items which are unfavorable. So unfavorable and favorable, that is a respective order. But if you really want to go more deep into this, then I would recommend this book. If you can get a copy of this, it's called Sri Bhakti Alokya. This is written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And he has taken each of those 6 items and he has written essays on those. So the second verse is Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangascha Lolyamcha Shadbir Bhakti Vinashyati. So he has taken each of the words, Atyahara, and wrote an essay on it. And he gave deep meanings to just that one word. So if you are interested to know more on that, then this book is good. This is optional. You will not get anything from this book in the exam. This is only for your own interest if you really want to go more deep. Okay, I'll clear that every time. So you can also ask, if I forget it, tell me, hey, is it going to come into the exam? No. Fair? All right, so let's at least chant this verse. We have about 5 minutes at our disposal. So kindly repeat. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. So light. Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam. Etan vegan yo vishaheti dhiraha. Sarvam api mam prithivim sasishya. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam. Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam. एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेति धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात् वाचः of speech, vegam urge, manasaha of the mind, krodha of anger, vegam urge, jivha of the tongue, vegam urge, udara upastha of the belly and genitals, vegam urge, etan these, vegan urges, yaha whoever, vishaheta can tolerate, dhiraha sober, sarvam all, api certainly, imam this, prithvim world, saha that personality, sishyat can make disciples. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So, the homework for next class is that you will carefully go over this purport and you can come back and tell me how the purport is organized. Is there any rhyme or methodology to the purport, or is the purport a little different? And then if we can read the first few paragraphs, it's being talked about. I'll read a little bit and then we can get some, I can ask the question on top of it. Purport: in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6:1-9 through 10, Parikshit Maharaj placed a number of intelligent questions before Shukadeva Goswami. One of these questions was, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? For instance, a thief may know perfectly well that he might be arrested for his stealing, and he may actually even see a thief arrested by the police, yet he continues to steal. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. One who is less intelligent gathers experience by seeing, and one who is more intelligent gathers experience by hearing. When an intelligent person hears from the law books and shastras or scriptures that stealing is not good and hears that a thief is punished when arrested, he refrains from theft. A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested and punished for stealing to learn to stop stealing. However, a rascal, a foolish man, may even have the experience of both hearing and seeing, and may even be punished, but still he continues to steal. Even if such a person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he comes out of the jail. If punishment in jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? Thus Maharaj Parikshit inquired. Kindly repeat after me. Trishta shrutabhyam yat papam janan apyatmano hitam karoti bhuyo vivashaha prayaschittam athokatam kvachin nivartate bhadrat kvachit charati tat punaha prayaschittam atho partham manye kunjara sauchavat. He compared atonement to an elephant's bathing. The elephant may take a very nice bath in the river, but as soon as it comes on the bank, it throws dirt all over its body. What then is the value of its bathing? Similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will counteract their offenses. Of the 10 types of offenses one can commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord, this offense is called Namno Balad Yasya Hi Papaha Buddhihi, committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we'll stop here, it is 4. But the question I want to ask is, why Prabhupada is introducing this as an introduction? It seems a little off track. Sin, atonement, when the verse is all Vegam, right? So Vega. So where is the correlation? Vishwanath Prabhu has his hands up. Okay, Sutramalika Prabhu he already says he wants to. Okay, go.
So Prabhu, actually I think Prabhupada is getting to the root of basically to again and again do the sins. The root of sins is eradicated by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But if you don't do it while avoiding the 10 offenses, you're still going to go back to the same thing. So I think that's what Prabhupada is getting.
Thank you.
I think this text is about urges. So unless there is you can eradicate the urge to commit sin, atonement won't help. Kind of.
Nice point. Other points? But then what will help? Atonement will not help. And I keep doing sins again. What is the solution?
So real knowledge is the solution. That.
Oh, okay. Vijay Prabhu. I couldn't see your... Okay. It looked like Akashvani for a minute.
So because of ignorance, he performs the act again and again. So real knowledge is the solution. For to come to real knowledge, one has to use tapasya and other things to control so that it will elevate him.
So real knowledge means you should have jnana. Yes? Vijay Prabhu. Jnana. So we should stop at the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That's about it. Never read the 5th chapter because 4th is jnana.
So real knowledge is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Jivira Swarupake Krishna Nitya Das.
Okay, thank you. I'm just putting you on spot, okay? Don't mind. I'll keep Srinivas Goda Prabhu, Ashok Prabhu, Victoria Mataji.
Right.
Yeah, and then Sutra Malik Prabhu. Go ahead, Srinivas Prabhu.
I think the best remedy is the urge. If we can divert the urge towards like Krishna, that is the best thing. Like means. So he is having urge to like maybe eating or urge to like means urge to eating can be converted to like eating prasadam. At least that pacifies. So any urge to like activities, atonement is like that is the best atonement. Like how to convert that urge into like towards Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Shamarup Prabhu. Ashok, and then we'll go like that. There's quite few hands, so go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class today. So I think Prabhupada is actually talking about the example of elephant and example of committing sin and again recommitting them. So again listening Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from you in the 4th semester. So unless one comes to the devotional platform, especially to devotional platform to Krishna and pure devotional service, no matter how many times you do the atonement, it is a temporary change. So unless the bija, actually the root of the urge to create, do the sinful reaction is inherently present in a person, no matter how many atonements you do, it is temporary, it will reappear. So only the devotional service will eradicate or completely remove that bija, which is the seed of all these sinful reaction.
Thank you. Very nice answer. Victoria Mataji and Preeti Sandarbha Mataji.
I was about to say the same.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Preeti Sandarbha Mataji. You had your hand up, right?
We read it in the preface, Prabhu, that one must promote himself to the platform of goodness. I think the answer. So
what is the answer? I didn't understand.
So this verse of atonement is like reparation from doing a sinful activity and then promoting ourselves to the goodness, then going into ignorance.
Please repeat. I'm sorry, I'm slow. My buddhi is slow. It's manda buddhi.
Like the preface said that one must promote himself to the platform of goodness. So this atonement means like differentiating between sin and ignorant thing, and then moving up to a platform of goodness and doing things which are as per instructions.
To an extent, yes. But there are people, especially in other faiths, they really mutilate their bodies on holy occasions. I have seen that, whipping themselves and so on and so forth. There is no, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if you do some penance that is just targeted at just mutilating your own body and giving pain to your own body and others, it's in the mode of ignorance. So it qualifies based on the situation. It can actually promote, or you are just doing it in the mode of ignorance. So it little bit depends. If you are doing it in a very bona fide way, in the mode of goodness, then it is fine. But otherwise, it will be just in the mode of ignorance. Just to qualify your statement. Thank you. Okay, Sutra Malika Prabhu in the meanwhile, and then Shamarup Prabhu, and then Jai Prakash Prabhu, and then
Prabhuji, although it doesn't say here, but we have read it somewhere else. Kuldeva Prabhu, thank you for reminding me that if we increase our taste to a higher thing, then the lower things will go away.
Yeah.
So that is the answer for, part of the answer for removing the seed of, sinful activity.
Thank you. Before I take from the next person, please to stop me if the speaker comes, because we don't want to, it's an etiquette not to make the Sunday speaker wait, especially he's a visiting guest. Yeah, so just if anybody is telling, or just let me know, because if they are waiting because we are having a class, they are there. Just if they are there, then just another 3 minutes we can start. Yes, next who is Shamarupa Prabhu is there? Okay, yes. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I think just like a doctor first diagnoses and tells the problems and then gives the solution. Just like Srila Prabhupada in the first 2 verses, he's pointing out the root cause of our disease, like Vacha Begam, Manasa Krodha Begam, then Atyahara Prayasascha. But then the following verses, he is giving the solution. It goes to the highest, like Radha Kunda and all. So
very nice.
That's the organization I was thinking.
Thank you. Actually, in the next class, probably we'll have a outline of all the 11 verses, and then we'll go deeper also. Thank you for bringing that up. Sri Antariksha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for the class. Just wanted to say the example that is given in this context of if someone has a skin disease and he goes to a doctor and asks for a medicine, a not so good doctor will just refer some ointment and say that this is your fix. It will give an immediate fix, but it will be very temporary and it will recur next time. So a good doctor will say, okay, get your blood tested and take this blood purifier. And so that's what is devotional service. Devotional service goes, as other devotees have been mentioning, it actually replaces our channels, our, just like lust is converted to love. So that's how devotional service works.
Wonderful. Oh, any other points? Yes, Swapnil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, regarding the flow of this verse and purport, I feel Prabhupada is setting the context here. He is glorifying devotional service above all karma and gyan as well. The normal Sankhya gyan. He is glorifying devotional service above them all. And he is saying that these urges, the 6 urges which are mentioned in the verse, they are to be purified by using them in devotional service. So,
yeah, thank you. So that would be a nice homework to see whether it is true or false, your statement. How the purport is organized, and each paragraph you can say, read that paragraph and what is Prabhupada trying to say in that paragraph in terms of that, and you can map. And same you can do Bhakti Siddhanta's Anuvritti, which that follows, little more opaque, but still we can get something out of it. Other points? I'm very grateful that you all are part of that Bhakti Shastri and inspiring everyone and each other, and including me. So we'll meet in 2 weeks' time, because this is the first semester. It's fixed in its period. We'll meet every 2 weeks. And then next week, if there is anything else that you want to raise, in terms of what you want to, or your expectation, probably that'll go around next week asking for your expectation for the Bhakti Shastri program, and how we can help improve, if you have some. So that is probably towards the end though, otherwise we'll never get to complete the whole matter. So yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha.